Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render the world. That is a quote by Ramana Maharshi, who was a very famous Indian sage, very enlightened dude, from what I hear. Although he died before I was born, probably died before most of the people who are watching this video were born, if my YouTube analytics are correct. This is a topic, though, that has been on my mind since my retreat, which is the importance of self-realization, the importance of awakening. To the ego, the idea that awakening is the most important thing that we can be doing with our time is absurd. In fact, it's actually what the ego is against. For those who are very serious about this path, you'll know that we run into very difficult cycles of purification and suffering that arise out of the process of awakening. And you'll probably also know that this isn't very fun. This awakening process is a process that is, it undulates between feelings of bliss, feelings of peace, feelings of genuine happiness, and then also feelings of death, suffering, anxiety, depression. Again, going back to this idea that awakening is the most important thing that we can be doing, this is not something that the ego is going to naturally be on board with. The ego has plans, it has ambition, it has desire that it wants to fulfill before it's dead. And awakening is actually the opposite of those things. Awakening challenges the idea that we have to do anything to be happy. It asserts the possibility that our lives could be completely void of any sort of potential, that we could live our whole lives living under our most powerful potential as an individual, and that that's okay, that we could be completely and utterly fulfilled and happy. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, this has always been incredibly difficult to really get on board with. I feel like I'm a very naturally ambitious type of person. Like, I want my life to mean something. I want to make my life about contributing to the world in some way, shape, or form. I want to make my life about doing something with my time while I'm here. So the idea that I don't have to do anything at all and be happy just does not compute with the way that I'm wired. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure this is something that doesn't compute with the way that most people are wired. Really, the reason I wanted to make this video, if I could boil it down to just one thing, it's that we cannot lose sight of this fact. We cannot lose sight of the fact that awakening is completely antithetical to any sort of material or worldly ambition or gain. And to state it, or to go one step further, awakening is more important than anything that we could be doing in the world. Our individual awakening in this light, in this context, is the most important thing that we can be doing with our time. And it is the most powerful, wonderful, beautiful gift that we can give to the world. Awakening is the most important thing that we are here to do. It comes before anything else. If awakening and enlightenment, whatever term you like, if that is truth, then everything else that we do with our time is derived out of that. It is derived out of what is true. And so therefore, if we do not know what is true fully, everything that we are doing in some way, shape, or form is rooted in ignorance. So how could we actually actualize our highest potential as an individual unless we are coming from a position of absolute truth? That is why, at least as far as I can tell, why this great Indian sage and why many other sages across time, many other spiritual teachers talk about awakening, why they emphasize it so much. Why they assert that it's more important than anything else that we could be doing with our time. That's why people renunciate their entire lives in the pursuit of truth, in the pursuit of understanding who they are. Because until that is understood, fully, everything else is rooted from a position of inauthenticity. I don't think this is a word, but ingenuinity. Disgenuine, ingenuine. Until we fully manifest that realization of self, everything else is rooted in ignorance and cannot, by definition, be authentic, because it's rooted in a fundamental delusion and misunderstanding of the world. So I just felt compelled to share this. I really think that it's important for the people that are on this path who are seriously pursuing awakening. It's important to remember the ego is going to reassert itself over and over and over again until we fully are self-realized. At least that's been my experience. I'll have moments of awakening, moments of openness, moments of spaciousness with the ego, only for the ego to reassert itself and demand that I be doing something else with my time. But that's not what really matters in life. At least that's my claim here. What really matters is understanding who we are. And everything else comes out of that. Everything else grows out of that nutrient-rich soil. So it's tough. I mean, it's really tough. At least it's been very tough for me. So I imagine it's tough for you guys. Because we want to do something with our lives. We want to make a difference. We want to do something at all. That's the whole game of the ego. Desire, 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 more, craving, attachment. That's the entire mechanism of egoic survival. But we can transcend that. We can see through that. We can awaken to our true nature. And that, if we want to do anything for the world, if the world needs anything at all, it's that. It's that openness. It's that truth. It's that space of emptiness that we bring to every circumstance and every relationship, every interaction that we have, whether with another person or whether just with the world in general. That emptiness, that is the most powerful gift that we can give to the world. And so I think it's important that we just keep that in mind as we walk this path. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you are doing well on your spiritual path. And I will see you guys in the next video.